Hey everyone, Dan Dog Crypto. Crypto markets. We're seeing some consolidation, but you have your leading tier coins, your Bitcoin, Ethereum, of course, Binance. There's been a lot of FUD that had happened in the past, but money is here. We certainly know that Bitcoin has large institution. It's moving large amounts of money. Ethereum. This is the future, it is the present. So we have to understand what has actually happened as we've entered this bear market. So the value of money, the value of your shares, money itself devalues. As we can see, if you took $30,000 in 1990, the equivalent of that 30,000, it would have to be a purchasing power of 68,000. So over a period of time, so it's been, inflation has been eating away at a rate of 2.54%, but an accumulative price increase where it's lost 128%. So we all know that central banks certainly have the ability to print money. That's how a government funds its operations. When they talk about debt ceiling, they continually raise the debt ceiling. So the central bank produces money, and in exchange for treasury bonds, which ends up being the US government. So knowing that money definitely loses its value, what happens? What about assets? So here we have our crypto assets. So certainly money has flowed into these assets. So Bitcoin, 14 years ago, it launches. It had practically no value. So you can mine this Bitcoin off of your computer, GPUs. There was no hash rate. Anyone that understood internet money. So now it's 23,000. So we're in this bear market. So you have cycles in history. So we've had approximately 26 bear markets. And what happens is you have your peaks and you have your valleys. Opportunities always present themselves. They present themselves in these economic times. Now, anyone that is familiar with any of these cryptocurrency and you backtrack and money has flowed into them and a major pump ran into a bull market, the wealth transfer is occurring. It's right in front of us. So now selecting which ones. Some have had pumps, some will pump, some may pump into the future. But the goal is to preserve your buying power. It always ends up being the buying power that you have to preserve. You want to preserve this buying power and receive a compounded annual growth. This is why PZEN creates this early opportunity. Right now, PZEN at 0.0040. Modest volume, but that's the power. We have the liquidity pool. So right now, the total liquidity pool is approximately 463. We have USD 235. but what's the perceived value? Now, within this pool right now, there is 56 million PZEN token. That's the float. There's no more, no less within the float. Well, now what happens is the holders, we have 2,300, almost 2,400 holders around about. Those are the Genesis wallets. So now, modest volume, there's an accumulation. We've had 2 minor cells. Well, this creates a continuous compounding because PZEN is a wealth redistribution economy. It is designed to redistribute fairly and equitably. Now, when we take a look at PZEN, we had $1,000 that gave someone approximately 245,000 PZEN early in the journey. But now when we break down PZEN and we analyze the holders. So when we break down PZEN, here we go. So now we have 2,387 holders early in the journey, the Zenites. This is an early opportunity, a wealth redistribution economy. You want to be able to find something before all the masses start to discover it. Taking a position, taking a strong enough position, this way when a market cycle turns and money enters into a protocol and more people start understanding the benefits of a wealth redistribution economy. This is what PulseZen is. Yes, the markets, there are many cryptocurrencies. Some pump, some don't, some go out, some consolidate. When you look at the market, unless you're in it, congratulations, you have done well. But you can't chase a pump. But you want to get in before a wealth transfer of money enters, because then it creates a life-changing event. The holders of PulseZen. When we take a look at all the holders at this present time. Now, as I state, anti-whale function creates a fair economic distribution, equitable, where everyone can take a fair distribution of accumulation, where no large whale is selling on your head. So when you look at these wallets right here, so now we have 21 million, 20 million, and we continually go down, 18 million, 15 million. This is a fair economic distribution of an economic economy. Look at this. So now, as an accumulation occurs, steady accumulation, as more eyes start seeing PZEN, what would be the magic? The magic is it's a Web3 socially engineered. It's on Ethereum. The code creates a wealth redistribution economy. It's audited. Wealth is not scarce. It needs a better redistribution system where if a common, ordinary individual understands the benefits of an economy, a 2% redistribution economy that all participate and work together, pay it forward, tokenomics, redistribution based on every transaction, which is huge because the 2% is all based now on how many PZEN tokens you have. That determines your yield. The eighth wonder of the world, as Warren Buffett states, is compound interest. You want to preserve your buying power. You want to be able to generate a yield. So now, this is true DeFi because you hold it in your decentralized wallet, which is MetaMask. Now, a key function with the code with each interaction is we have the burn. So that 0.01% is going to be eliminated, taken out of the circulation, which makes it deflationary. When PZEN launched, we have 880 million PZEN tokens distributed. Now, each interaction that occurs, there is a burn. So a buy, a sell, or a transfer. There's a charity wallet that's associated with PZEN, 0.2%. So now the DAO will be able to vote and decide where and who receives the charity. Still to be determined. This is early. The pay-it-forward wealth redistribution economy, it is fair and equitable, but it is early. But how many compounding annual, that's why it's got to be viewed on an annual, not on a yearly, an APY. So if someone were to say, I get 15%, that's APY. This is determined on a compounding annual growth rate. How many compounding frequencies are there? So it is early, but you may have 30, you may have 10, you may have 1, you may have 3. But the economy of PZEN, the community, well, now that is growing as more eyes start to understand what PulseZen is. Well, this compounding frequency, when you look at it on a yearly, you have a beginning balance and then your profit of that ending balance. How many frequencies occurred? But that's also without price appreciation. What is the future value of PulseZen? Well, now we know the present value with modest interactions. As I stated, right in here, we have our holders. So now, these are the Zenites, Genesis wallets. Now, at any point, can anyone come in that understands the value of PulseZen, what it means to build a community, and the value of a community? In the traditional markets, a stock is analyzed by analysts to determine its future earnings, if it will meet expectation. and a company will create a forecast. And based on the activity that has occurred. So now money may flow in or flow out. Well, this activity now, where you have in the traditional markets, you have analysts, large institutions, large money managers that follow a trend. And then once a certain sign has been indicated based on performance, and all of a sudden a strong buy rating occurs and money flows into it because they all work together. PulseZen is an economic economy where the Zenites organically, it was an organic fair launch. Early, the redistribution, the high was 1 cent. But this is the pool. 56 million PZEN tokens. What is the perceived value? How much money needs to flow into PulseZen as more eyes start to understand wealth transfers? And if anyone wants to preserve their wealth, they will need to transfer it. They continually transfer from one ecosystem to another ecosystem. PulseZen is early. As the Zenites unite and more eyes, more people start understanding the benefits of PulseZen, a continuous compounding per transaction frequency, the variable volume, and how many interactions. It may be slow and steady, which is fine, because the Genesis wallets are the holders. This is an early opportunity. Why? It only has 56 million PZEN tokens in the pool. If anyone understands Newton's law with mass with force, at any time there is an accumulation that is occurring. That is what is happening with PulseZen. You want to take a strong enough position because it's an accumulation. There's modest distribution payouts, the benefit that someone is taking. So that is strong for PulseZen. The Zenites are holding and understand the value of receiving a compounding yield on your principal. And if a distribution or redistribution is received, you do not want to lose your PZEN token because that is the fuel. The code is just by holding it. PulseZen, the fuel is the PZEN token. And it is a deflationary economy. So the 56 million PZEN tokens, that's in the float. Now the Zenites hold it, and they're holding strong. Modest volume, more eyes on PZEN. If anyone understands how powerful this is, this has massive upside opportunities. It is really truly designed to do a 10,000x. This will and can change lives. Anyone that has not taken a position, do your homework, understand the power of a continuous compounding, but the pool with 56 million PZEN tokens, so the modest volume still is creating a upside explosion as more eyes will see it. That's how powerful this is. And as the Zenites continually grow and share the economy of PulseZen, more people will hear about PZEN. Any potential press releases that is done, any one-on-ones, you want to get into something early as it establishes itself. Yes, there are many other subset ecosystems. Some have exploded and done very well. That's fantastic. Don't get impatient. The power is the community. That is the key. And it is uniting and coming together. It is a wealth redistribution, fair and equitable economy. And an advocate, Conrad Zen, who is he? Understand when someone accomplishes wealth and wants to do good for others and the integrity, it will occur. Patience, continually unite in sharing the benefits of PulseZen. Wealth is not scarce. It truly does need a better redistribution system. PulseZen is this economy, and it will grow. Wish you the best. Talk to you soon.